on the plane with this convicted sex offender?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know who the person is. My brother has his own secrets that he continues to keep from the public, and I don't really care one way or the other whether they're true or not. He's my brother.
Right.
Why he would be on a plane with a sex offender, I have no answer for that. I have no idea.
And there was an incident, too. I think it was in London, where it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was at a park, and he got into an altercation with some guy, and he made like a false police report. Are you familiar with that story?
Yes, I am.
Well, what do you think happened there?
This is what I was told by Sharon Kircher, the lady who wrote the article on me for the Mail on Sunday.
Okay.
Kevin, she had a notebook full of Kevin, evidently in compromising positions and photographs with other men. And, I had heard of the rumors about my brother's sexuality. It didn't really bother me. It didn't change how I feel about him. And she told me that evidently it was a sex event that went bad, and that something happened with that person, and my brother evidently claimed that he had been mugged in the park. So that's a question that only he would be able to answer. But I can tell you that he probably would give no comment.
Yeah, it has all the signs of a late night stroll through the park. Looking for it.
She had this entire notebook full of all these photos of my brother, in these compromising positions with other men. One can conclude that maybe there was supposed to be a financial transaction involved or something like that, but I wouldn't know. I just know what she told me, and supposedly he filed a police report, and I guess people didn't buy it, that he was supposedly mugged in the park, so I don't really, I don't have any other information than that.
Okay, no, but now what about when you guys were teenagers? Was there any signs of homosexuality when you guys were teens?
No.
Okay.
No, he was just my brother and I were really close when we were growing up. We did everything together. My brother, in his younger days, was not popular. He was just he was kind of a loner, and he used to hang out with me and all my friends. It wasn't until he got into high school that he, became interested in acting, and then his life went on a different path from there.
Now, there seem to be any outside guidance that got him on this path to stardom?
I think the emotional stability that he had in his life and the love and support he received from our mother had a great influence on his life. And but when somebody is too nurtured and too pampered, they end up growing up with no feelings, just an empty suit. And unfortunately, I think that's what happened to my brother, for him to basically disavow me and choose to decide with my mother's rationalization of what happened when we were growing up as kids. I don't blame Kevin for the way he acts. I understand it. He's a big shot, hot movie star, and he can create and enhance his persona anytime he wants. For many years, he has been claiming events that happened to me happened to him.
Like what?
because he's trying to convince the world that he was a troubled child saved by fear, when in fact he was just a mama's boy. You know, he didn't have all the things that I've read and seen on interviews. Those things, they never happened to him. They happened to me. They made me the character I am today, and nobody has the right to steal my identity.
Well, let me ask you a question, too. Now, you suffered severe trauma and abuse. Have you gone through therapy and stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
I healed myself, and that's why I don't recommend my form of therapy to anyone. I recommend kicking and screaming and doing whatever it takes to get someone's attention. You know, my one goal by writing this book is to help one person. If I just help one kid or one adult who has gone through this and helped them deal with it, I would have been a success in my life. And that's all I'm looking for. As far as getting rich, it doesn't even enter into it. I didn't write this book for money. I wrote this book to help people.
I don't think anybody gets rich from a book nowadays anyway. You know, it's the publishing business is just pretty much dead, you know. But now, let me ask you this now. Now, you suffered this trauma. Now, one of the results of children who suffer this kind of trauma is they disassociate. You know, sometimes they'll even they'll create a fake identity, go into acting. You know, where you're portraying fake characters all the time. Your sister went to a foreign country to marry a man. When 18 years old, she left the country to go find a man in another country. These would all appear to be signs of an entire family that was the victim of this kind of abuse.
Possibly, yes. You know, I can't speak for my sister. I can't speak for my brother. To be perfectly honest, my brother is not an actor. He's not acting at all. Every part that he plays is exactly the way he treats me. Evil, disrespectful, contemptful. That's the kind of parts he plays, but he's not even acting. So I can't even understand why he's got 2 Academy Awards. Anytime he tries to act that requires sensitivity and feelings, the movies bomb. Even his audience doesn't buy it. You know, so he, you know, he's, as far as I'm concerned, the best actor award in the family is still up for grabs. You know, and I'm hoping to be able to get my shot someday. You know, to be in a movie.
Yeah, I hear you. Man. Well, we're getting toward the end. Is there anything I've forgotten to ask you that you think you want to let the audience know?
Well, I have a wonderful relationship with my wife for over 21 years, and she saved me from myself. She accepted me for who I was and never tried to change me, and I owe everything to her, and I'm really happy that I have someone like that in my life, you know, who understands what I went through and who loves me, you know, every day.
How did you wind up in Boise, Idaho?
I was touring with a band that came through Boise, and within a couple of months, the entire band was in jail except me, and I was stranded here, and I had no vehicle. I had a little teeny apartment, and so I didn't even have enough money to go back to Seattle, so I just decided to stay, and I opened up a graphics business while I continued to play drums locally, and about a year later, the local newspaper here wrote an article about my business, and a week later, Trish was a corporate banker and was intrigued by the article and came down to talk to me, and the rest is history. We were instantly drawn to each other because she had been dating and seeing all kinds of corporate types, and they just bored her, and something about me intrigued her, and you know, we fell in love, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah, I tell you, there's something about Idaho. You know, I had to go up there for negotiating this business deal for a while. Beautiful women in Idaho. It's just incredible everywhere you look.
I love this town.
Yeah.
You know, I've lived all over the country. I've toured in 39 states and all through Canada, and this is the place to live. I love it, and I'm very fortunate that I am so well liked and respected in this town, and I earned it. I earned it. You know, I worked really hard to create you know, an image of being responsible and being kind to people and not judging people and, you know, accepting people for who they are. And that's why my business was so successful, was because people liked to be around me. They would invite me to their events. I wasn't a typical chauffeur just standing by the car with my arms, you know, crossed over. They would invite me out to dinner, take me to concerts, bring me into parties, you know. So I was part of their celebration, and that was nice to know. And if I hadn't been able to deal with the trauma that I endured as a child, I would have never been able to pull off Rod's limos, you know. But you have to stand naked before yourself and accept the truth and stop blaming everybody else and take responsibility for your own actions, regardless of what the consequences of your decisions might have been at the time. You cannot continue to run away from your pain. You know, as Captain Kirk said, I need my pain. You know, my pain made me who I am. You know, so you know, that's who I am today.
Randy Fowler, thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend. That's randybfowler.com, rodslimos.com, and his GoFundMe page, too. Let's get this guy behind the wheel of another limo here. Randy Rods Limo at GoFundMe.com. Listen, my friend, thank you so much.
Bless you, and thank you very much for having me.
Bless you, too, sir. Good night.
All right. Bye.
Okay, there we had Randy Fowler, brother of Kevin Spacey. Pretty fascinating stuff. You know, her father was a Nazi. Nazi flags in the office. Wore a Hitler mustache. Is raping Randy here as a young man, as a child. And then you have all this other stuff going on. So draw your own conclusions there. Randy B. Fowler, the book coming out is A Moment in Time, Living in the Shadows. RandyBFowler.com, RodsLimos.com, and his GoFundMe page is Randy Rods Limo. Okay, guys, we're toward the end of the show. I want to thank you so much for listening. Don't forget OppermanReport.com for exclusive content, shows you've never heard before. We have a couple of big shows coming up in the members section. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. And, you know, if you want to advertise or donate, OppermanReport@gmail.com. Thank you so much. You can have your ad played here at OppermanReport.com every Friday night, 5 p.m., and Saturday night, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on Friday nights, too, we do a live portion for 1 hour that I just do a live monologue. The ads are very, very inexpensive, and they're also played in the Opperman Report members section. In the members section, you can find all kinds of exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. It's as cheap as $6 a month, $20 a quarter, or $75 for a year. If you contact me directly at OppermanReport@gmail.com, I'll set you up with a little special deal there where you get a discount if you PayPal me directly, and you even get a copy of my book. I want to thank Sean Duff from strawman.com. He runs the website. He runs the member section. And I also want to thank William Ramsey, who helps us to produce the show and book guests. You can find Sean Duff at strawmanmusic.com. He's an excellent musician. You can find William Ramsey, who's an excellent author, at William Ramsey Investigates on YouTube.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
On mute? Okay, welcome to the Opera Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opera.